sound now? I think I got it. Anyway, let me start over. Oh, happy! Welcome, welcome, Willy Pals! It's Monday, it's frog time! Woo, woo, woo! As I was saying, today has been pretty exhausting. I did sleep for a lot of the day, but you know, it was exhausting for other reasons, 2 reasons I don't really want to get into. But wowee, we're about to get back into Delve tonight. I know it's been a while since Issy last touched Delve, because I think like it was not too long after the last Delve stream that like life circumstances started to get kind of difficult, so she hadn't had a chance to really resume from the bunny campaign, but we're finally gonna get back into it tonight. And it means, since it's been a little while, some of the stream is gonna be quite a fair bit of juggling between documents and PDF files and the main. I'm playing the game through Krita, because you know it's a map drawing game. So I'm gonna be juggling a bit. Also, in addition to that, based on a poll that was run forever ago, it seems like y'all Lily Pals didn't sound like you really minded if during gameplay we wrote out the story that takes place alongside it, because you know that's kind of half of the fun. It means that actual gameplay might happen at a slower rate, but it will make the game by and large more interesting. So keep that in mind. There's gonna be quite a fair bit for my little froggy hands to juggle. Jungle to jungle. Captions. Okay, yeah. So, I am going to put out Krita right here. This is what we currently have for the borough known as Glaylac. Glaylac right here. There might need to be some refreshers on how the game works. But basically, the way this game works is you obviously have a grid, and you draw different rooms on each grid that provide different different utilities or purposes. You can draw like little units inside the rooms as appropriate. Any which way. But anyhow, and then we have resources down here, tracked by resources, and trade goods. Resources are hearts, trade goods are diamonds, and then Issy actually is playing this campaign with one of the expansions known as Feast and Famine, so food is also a resource in this game, something to keep track of. I do also, in addition, happen to have game notes for for each of the rooms in each grid space to keep track of their purposes and their uses. And then another document keeping track of the plot and the story. I figured I might, I know like the main idea for the story of this bunny burrow is, or what explained in the previous Delve stream, but for the sake of refreshers, I'm gonna reread every little bit of text relevant to the plot, or that Issy came up with in the meantime. So starting from the introduction. Normally, many burrows of rabbit folk in Zose are well adapted to the harsh winters that tend to come each year. However, this last winter brought an uninvited guest to place more burden than usual. Vassengale, the snowy rock. The great raptor attacked several burrows, eating people and livestock alike. Its colossal wings would stir snow atop the entrances, its stamping talons collapsing tunnels beneath. Many rabbits' homes were buried and destroyed, along with food stores and stockpiles. With so much devouring and destruction, many burrows of Zose had recovering to do after Vassengale flew back to the mountains. One chiefess rabbit was quick to start the efforts in building everything back up. Vefla Ra rallied her people together and told them of a territory she had kept her eyes on since 3 autumns ago. An expedition was started with the aim of producing food and eventually growing enough to feed several burrows throughout Zose. The mission would not be easy, and danger was a constant for rabbit folk, regardless of where they lived. However, the burrow Glaylek was more than determined to kickstart the efforts for countrywide sustainability. First things first, though. These meager dozens of rabbits need to keep themselves fed first. So the main goal with this burrow Glaylek is to be able to produce 100 units of food. That's the end goal. At 100 units of food, we'll say that, we'll say like the burrow itself has reached a point where it produces surplus, and so it can provide to the other rabbits across the bunny country. And hello, Oshio. Welcome. Okay, so that was the introduction, but since then, Issy has been able to fill out little lore bits, little story bits between each round. So there's been 10 rounds of gameplay so far, and it seems like round 10 is still blank for a story bit. So we'll have to start with that first and foremost. But I'm gonna read the gameplay bits and then the story bits between each round, so we're able to keep track of absolutely everything. So round 1 was that the entrance room here was created. 5 soldiers were appointed to stand guard at the entrance checkpoint. They're not doing that right now, but that's only because future rounds will explain why. The diggers worked to the left and found 9 trade goods, and in the new space they built a storehouse. Story. When the rabbits tried rummaging for surviving supplies in their previous homes, Whatever they found at the time didn't seem like anything substantial. However, piling all the scraps into the storehouse together seemed to be quite decent. Shovels for diggers, bags for seeds, ropes for the spelunkers. Every rabbit had the basic necessities to do their given tasks. However, doing any work outdoors put most of the rabbits on edge, given recent events. It mattered not that they spoke and thought like other civilized folk could. Predators of many kinds loved nothing more than hunting them down for meat. Vefla had noticed how tentative her burrow was and thought to ease their concern. She spoke with a young rabbit named Sunshade and had a special job just for them. They would be tasked with keeping watch over the area outside and alert the chiefess of any approaching dangers. It wasn't effectively a job for one, but Glaylak would be quite short-handed for the foreseeable future. That's also another thing. There's going to be a few characters that are not represented by tokens, like these. You know, we just kind of have to accept that they are part of the setting. So we trust, like, Sunshade is constantly on the lookout in the entryway to the burrow. But the good news is, by not being represented with any particular token, the good news is that they're, at least as far as gameplay and story are integrated into each other, it means they're not at risk for dying, so that's a plus. Odd question, but would you ban someone for lurking? Absolutely not! Feel free to lurk. This is gonna be a bit of a slower stream tonight, just because of the nature of the game. So yeah, feel free to lurk if you need to. Okay, so that was round 1. Round 2. The diggers, like after building the storehouse, round 2, diggers continued work to the left and found 2 trade goods. They traded 6 trade goods for 12 resources. That's another thing. You can trade between trade goods and resources, but it's an unequal like trade distribution. So 1 trade good is equal to 2 resources. So by trading 6 trade goods, we get 12 resources at that turn. So then, next to the storehouse, we built a garden. Built a garden gaining 5 food. A baseline garden was now underway, and the rabbits were relieved to graze on greens again. They started with simple lettuce heads and celery, and planned to include other vegetables in later seasons. Until they had fully grown, ration satchels were provided to keep everyone nourished. They included handfuls of grass, wild berries, and a few cowslip leaves for each rabbit. Cowslips being something of a treat. Round 3, the diggers went right of the entrance and found 10 trade goods. At this point, no new rooms were built, and there's no story bit here, so round 4. Diggers continued to the right and found 4 resources. They built a Shrine of Fortune in the newest space and swore in a cleric at the shrine. While the rabbit folk knew how to grow their food stocks well enough, what also mattered to a burrow's wider reputation was its wealth. Between the two, the latter was more difficult for them to cultivate. Just the same as everyone else, rabbits tend to be much more intelligent in some regards than others, in which case math was not among one of their strong suits. This was why most rabbit folk burrows appear as modest as they do. However, all the same as the likes of humans or dwarves, they are not above calling upon the divine for assistance. Vefla remarked that if fortune could be found here, then Glaylak would see more waves of migrants, and thus more working hands. Did I make this game? No. This game is called Delve, and it's made by Anna Blackwell. I should probably find the link to their itch.io page. That would probably be a good idea. Right here. You can find the game right here. It is only $7. It's quite a deal. Anyway, I also have to keep track of chat on my phone since Krita is in full screen, or at least in maxed window size, so I can't keep track of both of them on my monitor. Anyway, so round 5. Round 5, the diggers continued digging to the right and found 11 trade goods, and they built another garden next to the shrine, gaining 5 more food. With vegetables well on the way, the farmers thought it good to start growing other varieties of food. Even if it was more for non-rabbit residents or visitors, there was great incentive to begin planting fruit trees and bushes. They decided with the former, thinking it would be better to start with the more difficult option. Sweet apple tree saplings were taken and planted there. The chiefess's mind was ever looking forward, trying to shape the future, and in it she saw a deeper purpose for the trees. Round 6. The diggers continued to the right and found 9 trade goods. They traded 10 trade goods for 20 resources, and they built an apiary next to the second garden, gaining 5 more food. Crafting and setting up the stone beehives was relatively easy. The hard part was figuring out whether to wait for winter's end to retrieve honeybees locally, or if it would be worth sending some folks out east to search the tropics themselves. The farmers much preferred to remain patient, but Vefla had special motive to act as soon as able. In the end, she relented to popular opinion, and so the rabbits waited for the snow to melt. Perhaps it was best, given the burrow's few actual residents. The tropical forests to Zoze's eastern regions are likely fraught with deadlier, more abundant predators, and none of Glaylak's rabbits had nearly enough familiarity with those lands for optimal success. Either way, honeybees were captured and took quickly to their new nests and garden next door, and so began honey production. Round 7. Diggers continued yet to the right and found 10 trade goods. They built a barracks right here to the left of the shrine, and enlisted a captain to the barracks named Rhubarb. As Vefla passed through the main hall of the burrow, Sunshade had beckoned her over. While no reports of danger had come so far, they brought mention that Glaylak's militia only consisted of 5 soldiers. They assured that they had faith in their ability to fight, but if anything ever came that overwhelmed them, there was no backup in sight. Vefla was comically stunned by the realization, and Nye immediately thanked Sunshade for the suggestion before hurrying elsewhere. The chiefess sought any particularly strong rabbits in body and spirit. The best candidate she found was Rhubarb, who had previously worked as a digger. She never quite saw herself leading anyone for anything, but she did exercise frequently and had the right down-to-earth attitude. Vefla appointed her as captain of Glaylak's militia, but made evident off the bat that finding potential soldiers would need more time. Rhubarb couldn't care less how long it took. She valued her privacy too much. Okay. Round 8. The diggers went under the entrance, found 8 resources. 10 resources, rather. And they built a brewery right next to the apiary, right here. And mead had started to be brewed through the apiary. The chiefess kept a close eye on the apiary, and after a time she thought it a fine time to move into the next phase of its production. The farmers by now caught well onto what she was planning, but hadn't thought much into her motivations. The rabbits were mostly indifferent to the idea of building a brewery for mead, as culturally alcohol was not as significant to them as with others. What they didn't know was that the brewery plans were not formulated for them at all. Round 9, the diggers went leftward in the space under the entrance and found a blinding gas chamber. Blinding gas flows into the entrance, storehouse, garden, barracks, and shrine. That's what all this smoke is all around. No new rooms were built, and the entrance guard moved into the barracks. So you can see they're all here now. A brief panic swept through the burrow halls as thick, obscuring clouds began billowing out from below. Everyone first thought it might be smoke from a fire, but it didn't smell like anything, let alone like smoke. Soon it was thought that it might be toxic gas, but none of the diggers had died from exposure or even felt sick from inhaling it. When the entrance guards retreated to the barracks, Rhubarb had confirmed from her digging experience that these clouds were harmless. Its capacity to limit visibility was a bit annoying, but that was all it did. Thankfully, the captain had no intention of training stone slingers, who would be inconvenienced hardest from it. They could expect the gas to filter out on its own eventually. And then round 10, the diggers went to the right of the space under the entrance and found a volcanic shaft, which is why it stretches all the way down below. Traded 10 trade goods for 20 resources, and built an inn right under the entrance. And it was named Ye Old Lychee. A jester arrived to the inn named Flakecorn. And then, finally, a Gaspalope doe enters the burrow at the entrance, which is what this is right here. I was thinking this was a tabletop sim game. It's kind of tabletop-y. It's mainly a map drawing game, primarily, but it is played solo. I'm not entirely sure how multiplayer would work, but that would be an interesting premise. So, a few notes about the setting and therefore the gameplay. So, Issy had the idea that because rabbits were such a popular prey item in the world, every once in a while there would be a creature of some sort would arrive at the burrow and basically pose a threat. There are 6 possible threats. One of them is the Gaspalope, which reads as such: a small black deer thought to hail from another realm. The bucks have pearly antlers that are coveted by merchants and mages alike. The does, however, are extremely dangerous. They alone bear the ability to steal someone's breath, causing them to choke to death. They relay these breaths to the bucks, who depend on it for sustenance. Finding a buck may bring fortune if hunted, but they are seldom found alone. So, in the long term, it was better that it was only one doe. And so, I wonder if Issy thought, okay, yeah, here at the game notes, the Gaspalope doe is 1 unit that holds 15 strength and will instantly kill one unit in the same space. So, you know, as soon as the doe, you know, we can expect the doe to immediately go to the right, where units are plentiful, and basically swipe away one of the soldiers just right off the bat. As for the story bit, as I mentioned, it was blank since Issy left, so I have to pick up the slack. So let's see. Built an inn called Ye Old Lychee, and in the inn, a jester had arrived. Oh, actually, we don't... Okay. One thing at a time. Like, the Gaspelope is still going to travel to a tile next turn, but still gonna attack someone next turn, but it's not gonna be... It's actually not gonna be one of the soldiers. Yeah, right here. This is Flakecorn, the elven jester. Okay, so based on what I'm picking up, Vayfla had this whole plan with the apiary and the production of mead for a very specific purpose. So according to the Feast and Famine PDF, mead attracts elves, and any adventurer that is stationed at the inn thanks to mead gets a ranged property. So, well, actually, well, let me look up the jester real quick in the tables. Okay, jester is only 1 strength. Strength works kind of... I don't really want to get too deep into combat mechanics. In this stream, you just have to trust me that I know what I'm doing. So, in addition, I guess, to... Let me look at game notes. Okay, no. No, the ranged aspect does not apply to the jester. Okay. But what the jester does do is essentially act as like the main... What am I trying to say? Any enemies that are present on the map, they will directly target the jester instead of anyone else. Like, jester is enemy number 1. Which is quite unfortunate, seeing as how the Gaspelope doe is 14 strength higher than Flakecorn, so the next turn doesn't look good for him. Anyway, yeah, so Vayfla's plan had soon come to its earliest realization with the finished construction of the inn. Although rabbits don't typically partake in alcoholic activities, as is frequent in taverns, their ability to provide mead would hold very attractive to various types of traveling adventurers, particularly elves, who they often get along with. Once the ye olde Lychee Inn was granted its opening day, word between traders and merchants carried word outside the borough. As fate decreed, the first outsider to come along was a festive elf named, or no, not festive, a jolly elf named Flakecorn. I have to remind myself if Flakecorn, he, him, okay. The description reads, Flakecorn, short teal hair is pulled back to reveal a fresh, sad face. Wide violet eyes set appealingly within their sockets. Watch cheerfully over the audience they've entertained for so long. Freckles are spread neatly across his whole face and leaves an amusing memory of his adventurous love life. This is the face of Flakecorn, a true visionary among elves. He stands tall among rabbits despite his petite frame. There's something enthralling about him. Perhaps it's his sense of humor, or perhaps it's simply his sense of camaraderie. I spelled that wrong. Or Essie spelled that wrong. Camaraderie. But nonetheless, people tend to salute him in the streets, while treating him to drinks when he's around. Okay. I mainly just wanted to remind myself if Flakecorn was indeed a guy, so. Because I thought I was going to be working today, but heard that a worker got the beer bug. So I'll probably be working on Wednesday instead, huh? Hope they get better. Drink responsibly, y'all. First outsider to come along was a jolly elf named Flakecorn. The passing rumor of mead had been too good for the smug fun-loving men to resist. Vefla grinned as this was the beginning of a great means to Glalak's reputation and security. However, the latter would soon be would very soon be put to the test. Sunshade alerted the chiefess and all others about an approaching beer bug equals that bad virus. Oh, you mean COVID? We can mention COVID. I don't think it breaks TOS at all. Sunshade alerted the chiefess and all others about an approaching threat. A Gaspalope, or a lone Gaspalope doe. The fact that the doe was alone was a clear red flag to the rabbit folk. She was searching for a soul to steal. The residents quickly retreated into their hovels, or into their respective housing holes. The residents quickly retreated into their respective housing holes, with exception to the soldiers, as per their training. All of them were ready to meet the Reaper at any given moment upon conflict. They had to remain, or they had to hold confidence that their comrades would work to avenge them in short order. Okay, so the whole story bit. Vefla's plan had soon come to its earliest realization with the finished construction of the inn. Although rabbits don't typically partake in alcoholic activities as is frequent in taverns, their ability to provide mead would hold very attractive, ability to provide mead would hold very attractive towards various type of traveling adventurers. I'm just modifying some of the what's the word? Formatting. Okay. Particularly elves, who they often get along with. Once the ye old Lychee Inn was granted its opening day, traders and merchants carried word outside the borough. As fate decreed, the first outsider to come along was a jolly elf named Flakecorn. The passing rumor of mead had been too good for the fun-loving man to resist. Vafla grinned, as this was the beginning of a great means to Glaylak's reputation and security. However, the latter would very soon be put to the test. Sunshade alerted the chiefess and all others about an approaching threat. From the surface. A lone Gaspalope doe. The fact that the doe was alone was a clear red flag to the rabbit folk. She was searching for a soul to steal. The residents quickly retreated into their respective housing holes, with exception to the soldiers, as per their training. All of them were ready to meet the Reaper at any moment upon conflict. They had to hold confidence that their comrades would work to avenge them in short order. So now we are on to round 11. Oh, wait, I nearly forgot. Stellar had redeemed a stream froggy. Here you go, Stellar. So much to keep track of. I was even thinking to myself, like, don't forget the stream froggy, don't forget the stream froggy, don't forget the stream froggy. And now here we are. Okay, so now we are on to round 11. Round 11, I'm gonna save the Founder's Log. The Founder's Log is where all the story stuff is written, as well as the round activities for the gameplay. You probably caught on to that, but just to reiterate, let me check. Alright, so yeah, it's turn 11, round 11. And based on the way that Issy decided to have the blinding gas work, like the further spaces that the smoke or the gas seeped into will dissipate faster than any tiles that are closer by. So I'm trying to figure out how many more rounds there are for So every chamber, except for the source and the inn, I think all of them have effectively dissipated. Wait. Selection mask? What? Strange. That's never happened to me before. Okay. So there's still gas in these rooms, but all the rest of the gas has dissipated in the upper floors. Meanwhile, the Gaspalope is going to venture down to the inn where Flake Corn is, and sadly, Flake Corn is immediately dead. I'm gonna move the gas below over a little bit so it's a little clearer. So as far as like turn orders between enemies or my units, the enemies always go first. Okay, so diggers. We're not going to dig out any new rooms or new chambers just yet, thanks to the threat of the Gaspelope. So we're going to say the diggers refrained from work for their own safety. And then the Gaspelope dough moved towards the old lychee and attacked Flake Corn. Flake Corn instantly perishes. Actually, I think if Issy's memory is serving me right, the way Gaspelopes work is, you know, as opposed to any of the other possible predators, is that, you know, after the Gaspelope kills one unit, then they're satisfied. Then they'll head back up to the entrance and just leave. Like, they got what they came for, so no need to delay. Not that the Gaspelope is gonna move right back into the entrance in the same round, but it definitely will in the next round. I should probably keep track of my game notes. And I should get rid of all the blinding gas notes for all of and they're like divided by little sections, like each chamber, and then they're divided by, like, it's divided by the floor, like the floor, the depth, and then the chamber, and then anything having to do with the chamber in particular. Some of this stuff is so hard to explain. But anyway, so I think, yeah, now that Flake Corn is dead, the soldiers are going to stay put in the barracks, which means that I can note that no new rooms were built. I think that's it. And then for future reference, the way these surface invaders work, these surface predators, is that every 10 rounds, I'll have to roll a d6, or no, every 10 rounds I will roll a d4 to determine whether or not a predator exists or whether a predator arrives, and then every round after that, you know, if a predator does arrive, then I roll a d6 to figure out which one it is. Because there are 6 possible predators. Actually, it would probably be easier to flip a coin rather than use a d4. I think the d4 only complicates it. Okay. So the diggers refrained from work for their own safety. The Gaspalope doe moved towards ye old lychee and attacked Fleetcorn. Fleetcorn instantly perishes. I should probably rephrase that for the occasion. Fleetcorn loses their soul and dies. No new rooms were built. The soldier rabbits were steeled for a full scuffle with the Gaspalope, but Rhubarb had ordered for them to remain in the barracks. She keenly observed the doe's movements, finding that they were drawn elsewhere than their position, or they were drawn not to their position, but elsewhere. She was somewhat surprised, but she knew this would be advantageous for all of them in the meantime. Or no, but she knew this would mean none of her warriors would have to lose their lives. Fleetcorn was happily guzzling down mug after mug of mead, inebriated to his heart's content. He sang shanties, both aloud and to himself, blind to the threat that approaches from the double, or from the inns double doors. Hello, Octavius! What am I up to tonight? I'm playing Delve. It's a map drawing tabletop sort of game that you play solo. I'm picking up where Issy left off before she left. At the same time, the gameplay might be a little slow because I'm also writing a lot of the plot stuff that's happening at the same time to make the game more interesting, you know. On a positive aspect today, I reinstalled the Reignited trilogy to play the second Spyro game, and also managed to get a deal on an old 360 game called Prey. I remember Prey. The Reignited trilogy, that's great. See, sounds interesting, eh? I think so. About all you really need to know about the setting is that this is a burrow called Glaylek. It's about a bunch of rabbits, you know, expanding their home after a disaster with a rock destroying a bunch of food stores and their livelihoods. So this burrow is having taking the mantle of growing a bunch of food and serving it to all the other rabbits in other burrows and such, and having to deal with all the obstacles that comes in their way. You know, there's blinding gas, there's surface predators, and a bunch of other stuff we haven't yet experienced. Okay, anyway. Gains double doors. The clacking, or the light clacking of hooves, or even-toed hooves. Gingerly grew close as he the light clacking of even-toed hooves gingerly grew close as he thought nothing of it. In only a moment, his breath grew his breath breathing? In only a moment, the air in his breath began to betray him. Suctioned out of his lungs. Forcefully being suctioned out of his lungs. The doe had acquired what she came for. Actually, the elf jester collapsed to the wooden floor, motionless. The doe had acquired what she came for. So the whole story bit, the soldier rabbits were steeled for a full scuffle with the Gaspalope, but Rhubarb had ordered them to remain in the barracks. She keenly observed the doe's movements, finding that they were drawn not to their position, but elsewhere. She was somewhat surprised, but she knew this would mean none of their warriors would have to lose their lives. Flakecorn was happily guzzling down mug after mug of mead, inebriated to his heart's content. He sang shanties both aloud and to himself, blind to the threat that approaches from the inn's double doors. The light clacking of even-toed hooves gingerly grew close as he thought nothing of it. In only a moment, the air in his breath began to betray him, forcefully being suctioned out of his lungs. The elf jester collapsed to the wooden floor motionless. The doe had acquired what she came for. In all honesty, I think there's probably a lot of games I've never considered playing till now. Yeah, it tends to go like that. But it's always good to keep an open mind. Okay, round 12. Diggers remained... The diggers remained in hiding. The Gaspalope doe returns to the entrance. No new rooms were built. I'm gonna skip the lore bit for round 12 because it seems self-explanatory. And so diggers remain in hiding. The Gaspalope... Well, actually, I should represent round 12. The Gaspalope returns to the entrance. And then round 13, the Gaspalope doe exits out the burrow. So that means... Well, actually, let me check. Okay, Gaspalope is in the unit bank. I have a layer specifically for maintaining the tokens for different units, so that way I don't have to worry about redrawing them all like each and every time. I can just copy and paste and then edit in any which fashion I need to. But yeah, the Gaspalope is gone. No more. And then, by extension, no new rooms were built. Oh, I should probably note, back in round 11? Yeah, 11. The blinding gas dissipates in the entrance. I'm gonna copy paste from earlier. In the entrance, storehouse, garden, barracks, and shrine. And so keeping track of that. That means 2 more rounds have passed, which means the blinding gas also dissipates from the inn. Like that. The blinding gas dissipates and then in the game notes, that leaves the blinding gas in the source the source is gonna last for 5 more rounds, but no big deal. It's not gonna affect anything. Let me take a look at... in... Any adventure station you're arranged. So I think I can spend some... How many trade goods do I have? Okay, that's handy. I have 30 trade goods. Okay, so... Oh, there's so much to keep track of. Let's see. Okay, it's not in the expansion PDF. So let me check the main PDF. Where's the N? There's the N. If that adventurer is defeated, pay 10 trade goods to hire a new one at the start of the next turn. Okay. Okay, so I won't be enlisting a new adventurer just yet. I'll have to wait until the next round. So that means round 13. Story bit. Let's see. Lee. The doze. Coat. Or no. From the barracks. Or after having stayed put in the barracks, Rhubarb kept watch the entirety of the encounter. Within the span of 10 minutes or so, the Gaspelope was seen on her way out of the burrow, her coat glistening white after obtaining her quarry. The rabbits sighed in relief that none of their own had been lost, but nevertheless, Vafla saw Vafla felt concerned over the death of Fleekcorn. She hoped this wouldn't set a bad precedent about their home going dot dot dot. No. She hoped that this wouldn't set a bad precedent about their home going forward, as she had no control over word of mouth. Word of mouth? Word of tongue? Word of mouth. It's word of mouth. Okay. I think that's really about it for the story blurb. After having stayed put in the barracks, Rhubarb kept watch the entirety of the encounter. Within the span of 10 minutes or so, the Gaspelope was seen on her way out of the burrow, her coat glistening white after obtaining her quarry. The rabbits sighed in relief that none of their own had been lost, but nevertheless, Vaefla felt concerned over the death of Flakecorn. She hoped this wouldn't set a bad precedent about their home going forward, as she had no control over word of mouth. And then, in addition to that, I will open up the NPCs list. Well, actually, I'm gonna quickly notable NPCs. Okay, that's how it was listed. And that's how it was written. So, just a little bit under Flakecorn's entry. Flakecorn died after what's the word? Flakecorn died after what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not harrowing, not fateful, died after a tragic encounter with a Gaspelope doe. Tragic wasn't quite what I was looking for, but I think it works all right. All right. So we are moving on to round 14. So the diggers are now back to work. Where should we send them? It's kind of difficult to send them much of anywhere. Since there's a gap in the volcanic shaft, until we build a bridge, there's no way to dig across it. Unless we dig from underneath the shrine. That seems a little silly, though. In the long run, I don't think it would be a good idea. Because not only are there surface threats, but, there's always the possibility of coming across dangers from underneath. That's partly like the whole point of Delve. For those that don't know, normally, like the rabbit folk stuff and everything to do concerning rabbits and stuff, that was Issy's creative choice. Otherwise, we'd be playing dwarves. And you know how dwarfs be. Anyhow. We could dig to the left of the gas chamber. That would probably just cause the gas to spread to that room though when it doesn't need to. Decisions. I mean, I guess I could maybe build okay, I'm gonna retract something from the past round 13. Instead of saying no new rooms were built, a bridge was built at the top, or the uppermost space of the volcanic shaft. Hey, I finally get to draw something after so long. Alright, so I believe it would belong in traps and barricades because you know, it's a drawbridge specifically. Can have the drawbridge just like that. Gonna straighten it out a little bit, make it look neat. Good enough. Let's add a little gap thingy there. Ah! The more I want to fix, the worse I make it. Okay. I'm not fitzing with it anymore. But I think there. Yep, so that's now part of the map. And with that retcon in place, I can finally tell the diggers, hey, let's dig over here. In round 14, diggers worked into the other side of the volcanic shaft bridge, and before we draw in the chamber, I have to draw a card. Oh dear. That is a 7 of spades. Let's see. There are different tables, depending on whether I draw a club or a spade. Oh. Okay, that's not so bad. A 7 of spades, an abandoned room. Looks like you weren't the first. Choose a room and place it here. So it's just a free room. Doesn't cost anything. That's quite nice. So, what kind of room do I want? I want something that makes sense. Do we have a kitchen yet? I don't think we do. We don't. We don't. That is a good opportunity to put in a kitchen. So, mechanically, what a kitchen does... I gotta change to white. Oh, I'm on erase mode, that's why. What the fuck? Change to white. Oh, pfft. I'm on the eraser. That's... What a kitchen does is any units that are housed in a room that is adjacent to a kitchen gets a 50% strength boost during combat. So it would behoove, like, soldiers to be... It would behoove me to place soldiers, like, right here? At least for the time being. It seems entirely unnecessary because drawbridge, and, you know, after an enemy, like, is crossing the drawbridge and you choose to like, pull it back, the enemy falls, and I believe they take, like, 5 strengths of damage each floor that they fall. And of course, if they fall into water, it's just instant death. That's just how that works. Let me see if I have that right. Drawbridge. Oh dang, they lose 50 strengths times the number of grid spaces they fall. That is... Oh baby. So we might not have to deal with subterranean threats so much at this point. Of course, it all depends on... what other stations I put in the grid spaces past the drawbridge. How about this? Yes, perfect. Perfect. I could also use the paint bucket tool, but I don't feel like it. Alright. So now I have to draw in... or no. Hang on, I have to erase. Okay. Now, let me see. I'm gonna do an extra paint layer. What would a rabbit kitchen look like? Probably a lot of veggies. That much is obvious. So maybe like a table, big long table. Right here. Don't fuss, Gwen. Alright, and then we could probably put... Alright, Froggy, the stream was super chill. I gotta go grab some sleep. See you next time. Bye-bye, Octavius. Glad you could come around. You have a good sleep. Yeah, let me see about... Oh, it'd probably be a good idea to like put some roots like growing above, I think. Like maybe like little tubers. The rabbits can jump pretty high to pull the roots out, so that's no big deal. And then, can rabbits eat mushrooms? I don't know. Well, no matter. I can steal this green color and then put in like some kind of like leafy green here, and then here we can put like a long stalk, some kind of veggie. And then have them chopped up into bits. Which would indicate that a knife is needed. Otherwise, there would probably be some shelves or cabinets. without shelves? And they can stand like just above the floor? Yeah. Okay. And then we need shelves. Shelves of what? Spices, I guess. Okay, maybe not with that brush. No. That's probably gonna have to do. But then I could probably do like maybe that can be like brown sugar or something. And then, since we have apples, I bet I could probably just copy and paste. Alright. Okay, so we have to copy, paste, it's up there. Alright. Fuse or merge. Just like that. Just like that. Anything else I can add? I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But that's... Actually, let me add another shelf up here. Another shelf there. And... it can be like bottles of stuff. Yeah. Maybe a couple of, like, leaves kind of scattered about the floor. kind of haphazardly. Just little bits. You can't expect rabbits to be totally neat eaters after all. Should probably be like a bag of seeds too, somewhere. No, that's for the farmers. I mean, you can eat seeds, but nah, I'm overthinking it. It's good as it is. It's a rabbit kitchen, bunny kitchen. There we have it. Alright. So, and found an abandoned room. The abandoned room was converted into a kitchen. Oh, right. Right. We wanted to hire another adventurer. So, 10. That's the wrong document. That's minus 10 trade goods. Oh yeah, I gotta merge those layers. So now we're down to 20, and then let's see. I gotta draw another card for what adventurer we get. Ooh. Let me take a look at that. Adventurers. Wowzer. I just drew a king, and so a king gives us a monster slayer with 25 strength. Yeah, I gotta remember to put in kitchen. Kitchen depth to 5, 50%, strength to adjacent units, and then for the new adventurer, it's a monster slayer, 25 strength. Minus 1 card to ancient monstrosity. Hello, Lido! Delva's going pretty good. It's kind of happening at a snail's pace because there's a lot to work on, a lot to keep up with, and juggle around, but it's going good. We just got done building a rabbit kitchen. We had to deal with a surface threat, but they left as quickly as they arrived. We lost a jester, though. We lost the jester, but such is the nature of jester. So far, the bunnies are doing pretty alright for the moment. I have to draw a new unit. Monster Slayer. Well, the Monster Slayer has to be... Oh, actually... Maybe I should clarify that... Well... It's weird to think, because there's two different ways to go about this. The way that inns work for the Feast and Famine expansion. I want to say it does, like, provide an extra benefit to any adventurer that you hire. Heck it. Heck it. That's gonna have to be the case. So, I'm gonna have to use the false black for all of my units so they don't perfectly blend into the background. And they are gonna have to be an elf, because elves love mead. I'm gonna draw on a layer just above the units layer. After I'm done with this, I have to remember to copy and paste it over to the unit bank, so I don't have to redraw it in the future if I deal with another Monster Slayer. Let's see. I'm trying to think how a Monster Slayer would be outfitted. About I mean, obviously they gotta have armor, so okay, not quite. Start with this. Oh, did it like that. Works, doesn't it? Now it works. And then maybe like little pauldrons with spikes. And then as a final touch, let me swipe that. They can have, like, a scar on their face. So that's our Monster Slayer. Is now at Ye Old Lychee. Do we want to make them a notable NPC? Oh wait, I gotta copy. Paste. Put in the unit bank. Hide the bank. So I should jot down hired an adventurer, or no, hired a Monster Slayer at Ye Old Lychee. Actually, no, I could I guess we will make them a notable NPC. Hired an adventurer, a monster slayer elf named... Let's go, fantasy name generator! I could do the whole description as is needed. Gotta love fantasy name generator, yep. It's crucial for games like these. Flip a coin. I didn't even know what I was gonna call there. I'm indecisive whether they should be male or female. They could be non-binary. I think... Here's what I'll use the D4 for. If it's a 1, they're male, 2 female, 3 non-binary, and 4 I reroll. Reroll? Reroll? It is a dude. Okay, so I have to open up notable NPCs. Make sure I get all the spacing right. Da, 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 da. Allred Dawn Fury. Cool. Allred Dawn Fury, Monster Slayer. And so it goes as such. Blue curly hair awkwardly hangs over a fresh, worried face. Glistening silver eyes, set concealed within their sockets, watch vigilantly over the castle they've sworn to protect for so long. Several moles are spread particularly around his nose and leaves a fascinating memory of his reckless luck. This is the face of Allred Dawnfury, a true dreamer among elves. He stands alluringly among others despite his light frame. There's something obscure about him. Perhaps it's his perseverance, or perhaps it's simply his personality. But nonetheless, people tend to befriend him while secretly training to become more like him. Would have lost it at 3 rerolls. That shit has happened before. And I knew when it happened once, someday it'll happen again. Looks at my old D&D campaign where I rolled 3 d20s in a row. Okay. So I'm just gonna copy paste and then appropriately format it quick. Training to become more like him. Save. Gotta head to sleep, but hope you have a great rest of your game. Yeah, have a good sleep, Ludo. Thank you for coming by. Have a good night. Save that document. Named Allred Dawnfury. I think that's about it for the gameplay notes. Now I just gotta put in a story blurb. With as much activity seen in the Borough Glaylac as there has been, with as much activity seen as of late, I'll put that, as of late, it was easy for the rabbits to forget exactly the circumstances to which they arrived and where they are. As the diggers worked further into the rock and soil, they uncovered a hollowed space with buried, ruined furniture inside. The make, the simplistic make, seemed to indicate rabbit folk habitation. Seemed to indicate rabbit folk presence. Simplistic make seemed to indicate rabbit folk presence. And the workers looked upon it somewhat forlorn. It was a reminder of, I already gotta check the name, Vassingale, and what it did to them and all fellow rabbits, or all their people. And what it did to them and all their people across Zose. Dum-dum. It's a reminder of Vassingale and what it did to them and all their people across Zose. After clearing the dirt and debris, they consulted with the chiefess on their feelings. Vefla knew in the back of her mind that another encounter with a great beast like Vassingale would easily spell doom all over again. Easily spell doom all over again. She needed I'm trying to make it so that these documents, the way they're formatted, because I'm writing them on Notepad, because, like, I don't need, like, fancy fonts or anything. Like, I just need to keep track of shit. You know, like, I press enter just before it veers off, just before the text veers off the window size, thus necessitating a side scroll bar, which I just think is cumbersome. She needed this rectified as soon as possible, and she had hoped that perhaps the production and supply of mead would provide an opportunity. Her planning had soon enough been answered as an armored elf approached the burrow. Asking, inquiring for a job and place to stay. He was Allred Dawnfury, a name relatively renowned in elven circles for his ability to vanquish beasts. Beasts both great and small. The rabbits were generally unfamiliar with his exploits, but Hayfla had heard all too well of what he's accomplished. It was just the answer to the prayer she needed, or she and Glaylac needed. There. And then I can put down round 15 under that. So the full blurb. With as much activity seen in the burrow Glaylac as of late, it was easy for the rabbits to forget exactly the circumstances to which they arrived where they are. As the diggers worked further into the rock and soil, they uncovered a hollowed space with buried, ruined furniture inside. The simplistic make seemed to indicate rabbit folk presence, and the workers looked upon it somewhat forlorn. It was a reminder of Vassingale, and what it did to them and all their people across Zoze. After clearing the dirt and debris, they consulted with the chiefess on their feelings. Vafla knew in the back of her mind that another encounter with a great beast like Vassingale would easily spell doom all over again. She needed this rectified as soon as possible, and she had hoped that perhaps the production and supply of mead would provide an opportunity. Her planning had soon enough been answered as an armored elf approached the burrow inquiring for a job and place to stay. He was Allred Dawnfury, a named relatively renowned in elven circles for his ability to vanquish beasts both great and small. The rabbits were generally unfamiliar with his exploits, but Vefla had heard all too well of what he's accomplished. It was just the answer to the prayer she and Glaylak needed. Yep, so now we have a monster slayer in our ranks, and I believe I'm just gonna go to game notes, mark down ranged for all reds, for like the monster slayer a little bit there. Okay. So round 15. I think I'm gonna do round 15 and then wrap up. I know we probably didn't get a whole lot done, but I know I mainly wanted to use this stream just as kind of a warm-up session to get used to how this all works again. Let's see. So Lauren's right there. Diggers. Diggers, where should we send the diggers? I think I'm gonna dig to the right of the kitchen, and I'm gonna make it so that in order to pass through the kitchen, you know, to help avoid like leaping up onto the shelves or the tables and like just disrupting and making a mess of everything, there's gonna be a little tunnel up here that the rabbits can just kind of hop through. Yeah, that's much faster. Just wiping away the artifacts. Alright. And so diggers went to the right of the kitchen and draw a card. Sheesh. A 9 of clubs. 9 of clubs. Aha! Oh boy. Let's see. I have to flip a coin on this apparently. Okay. Whew. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's just say, thank Lady Luck that we came into this with a monster slayer. Alright, let me take a look at... Okay. I don't know if that would work. We're relatively high up still. We're only on layer 2. I'm just kind of looking for suggestions. Let's see, page 42. Uh-huh. I'm trying to think. I guess that would work. Alright, so first things first, we gotta draw in the thing. No. A bit more of a... Yeah, that's about all I really need for... Well... I'm so picky! Why am I so picky? Alright. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is... There's gonna be little holes here and about. And then I merge. And then I unlock the enemies. The enemy unit layer. I'm gonna take red. So as you can see, what we just came across was a nest of hostile creatures. In this case, I've decided they are going to be giant ants. And then it's a nest, so I gotta remember a copy, put them in the unit bank. Merge, paste, 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 paste. A whole squadron of giant ants. And I'm gonna merge all these layers together. Like that. Should do stuff like this. It looks fun. It is fun when you really figure everything out and get into the swing of it. It can be really, really interesting. And found a giant ant hive. So thankfully, you know, the thing I had to flip the coin for was to determine actually how big the hive was. It would either be 1 grid space big or 2, and I flipped and got 1, and according to the rules, the creature's strength is equal to the hive size times 10. So it's 10 times 1, altogether their strength is just 10. It's not a big deal. Yeah, not a big deal. Pretty sure that Allred could probably take them all single-handedly. Looking at the tokens, I think I should make Allred's token a little bigger, just to be like a better comparison with the rabbits. That'll do. Okay. Also, we have the drawbridge. Okay, I mean, the drawbridge seems a little bit overkill. Just for a group of giant ants that are only 10 strength. Oh, hey, you know, I should probably save the file, save the game. Right. So giant ants pour out of the hive. No new rooms were built. Just as quickly as Vavla's wish had been granted, it was fated. Ah! Jesus! No worries, I've taken my meds. God, why is it so loud? It was fated to be put to the test. And the tunnelers cried that they had disturbed the home of giant ants. Retreating bounding away into safety. Or bounding away in search of safety. The chiefess looked to Allred, who simply nodded in understanding. The expression on the elf's face was of a unique flavor of indifference. This isn't even close, or this wouldn't be even worth counting on his list of dangerous encounters. That's about all I can put for the story blurb. So round 16 would start off Diggers Diggers fled and avoided further digging. Giant ants scurried into the kitchen. Allred moves, or Allred is on the move across the drawbridge. So we can put Allred right here. And then the ants are right here. Oh no, the kitchen, they're gonna eat everything! God, that's so convenient. If you're an ant, there just happens to be like cupboards and shelves and stores full of food, like just right next door. That's gotta be awfully nice. And they won't be able to savor it for long, though. But that's gonna have to be a cliffhanger for today's session. I'm gonna save. Oh, right. No new rooms were built. Indicate story blurb here. Save document. Update the game notes. Giant ant hive. Depth to 6. I'll just put the giant ants. 10 strength. Like right there. Oh heck. I forgot that Allred is actually, thanks to the rules of Feast and Famine, is also a ranged unit. So, well, actually, maybe I'd have to redact, or like retcon his movement. No, it's too late. It's too late. Because obviously, like, as I said before, enemies always move first. So the ants are gonna move in next turn, next round, over onto Allred. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Everything will be fine. But yeah, that was today's session of the Burrow Glaylak. And that's pretty much all I have for tonight. Obviously, tonight's session was shorter, comparatively speaking. But, you know, it was a good warm-up. Glad to get right back into the swing of it. Hopefully, it won't be too long of a wait before we continue. And I'll probably do it at around 6 o'clock, as I usually prefer to do. 6 o'clock, so the session would last longer, more stuff will happen over the stretch of the stream. But yeah. Thank you all Lily Pals for coming in and joining me for a little bit of a chill game. It is a chill game to tune into, because a lot of it is just writing and managing notes, as well as just drawing. So, yeah. Okay, time to put the dice away and put the coin aside. I can stop keeping track of chat on my phone. Dum-de-doo. Man, I haven't even taken a drink at all the entire stream. Weird. Okay. Yeah, so my thoughts. Thank you, Stellar, for the hydrate. Love watching the Delp Buns do their best. Me too. Thank you for the double hydrate. Like, I have a bottle of like pink grapefruit sparkling water juice and I haven't even opened it yet. Alright, so my bet is that I will stream next Friday. And what'll I get up to then? Who knows? I'm sort of feeling... I'm feeling, Pokemon. So maybe I might continue, the Emerald randomized Nuzlocke. The continuing misadventures of Trainer Missy. I'll think about it. I've also just been wanting to do, like, chill art streams. Just kind of draw some stuff. So maybe I might just draw some Pokemon. Who knows? Anyway, it's time to wrap up this stream. Let's find a Lily Pal to raid, how about? We got our raid messages right here. God, I have so many tabs I need to close now. Close that, close that. The deck of cards has served its purpose. Both the notepad documents are saved. Everything is in order. Good, good. All that's left is to find a Lily Pal to pass our love on to. See you next week. I will be streaming this Friday, if you're available then. We could count on either 6 or 8 p.m. Probably 6 Central. Yeah, but otherwise I'll see you again whenever next time you come around, Ashio. Let's see. I need to find who is online right now. I still need to tape my my headphones Still need to tape the little broken part together. Okay. Dum-da-dum. Oh my god, somebody's doing, I guess, an ad for RuneScape? Like a sponsored stream? That's interesting. Choices. How about... Ooh. I see Nyrene streaming. Monster Prom 3 Monster Road Trip. Oh, I want that game. I want it. Okay, we are going to... I didn't want to do that. Ugh. I was gonna paste raid message into her chat, but Nyrene is great. She is a siren mermaid VTuber. Very silly, very good, very funny. So raid Queen Nyrene. Make sure I spell her name right. Alright, Lily Pals. That's it. That's all I have for tonight. I will see you around next Friday if y'all can make it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and enjoying my streams, by extension, my sister Issy's streams. Yeah. And stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. I love all you Lily Pals so much. I love you this much. This much. Okay. I will see you all next time, Lily Pals. That's it. We're rating Nyrene. Oh yeah, Swimmy!